There's a men's house, a women's house, a nursing
Have
station.
to come and get a tour.
Yeah.
I've had the people at the facility come and talk to me because it really, court is calling 2025 CR 003154 State versus Rebecca Davis. Could I have parties announced for the record?
And Gay for the defendant.
And are you Rebecca? Have you seen discovery?
Yes, I have.
Did you review it with your client?
We've gone over it, yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Davis, did you review the application for community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Ms. Davis, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated, third or more? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, she has. She has assisted me.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, she does.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do.
Ms. Davis, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 8 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. State recommends community supervision. They're taking in consideration 2024 PF 28045. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No such motions.
All right, off the record, probation, this is cause number 2025 CR 003154, and it's an application for probation. All right, we're back on the record. Outside the agreement, the state is asking that your punishment be assessed at 8 years in the prison. That your length of probation. See, I'm trying to make sure everybody's awake.
Yeah.
It's shocking everybody's system.
Yeah.
What they're asking for is that your length of probation be 8 years, that there be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, 2-year license suspension, and they're asking that there be 10 days in the Bexar County Jail as a condition of your probation. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
And state, with regards to the 10 days in the Bexar County Jail, would you object to her serving that on GPS?
No objection.
Right. Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence?
State offers exhibit 1 and attachment.
No objection.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We'd like to proceed, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Since the date of offense, She has been in a rehab facility. It's now 90 days. And she may be better to explain this facility to you.
All right, what facility are you in
SOBA, SOBA,
and where is it located?
here in San Antonio.
Okay.
Northeast side, I believe.
All right, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah,
I did
it's
not know about it.
amazing.
So could you tell the judge about
Yes,
some,
I would love to.
everything that they offer and that it's a lockdown facility?
Yeah, okay, so it's a typically a 60-day program, and the first 30 days is residential, and you are not allowed to leave. You get 4-hour visits on both Saturday and Sunday. We are in class from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m.
Mhm.
They take us to Gold's Gym at 4 p.m. if you would like to go Monday
Well,
through
I need
Friday.
to join that just
I
to get
know,
into.
just to get the gym membership.
Yeah.
They introduce yoga classes. We have yoga twice per week. We have CBT training, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. I have my own individual therapist and my own individual caseworker. Most of the staff are recovering either alcoholics or drug addicts, so they understand. We have an AA meeting every night from 7 to 8, Monday through Sunday. Yes, we are actually breathalyzed twice per day, once in the morning and once in the evening. And then we are UA'd Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that's actually sent off to the laboratory as well. And that's typical for your whole stay. Like that's never going to change. After 30 days, you enter a PHP, which is partial hospitalization. I believe they shave off 2 classes, so you have a little bit more free time.
Oh, you know what? Now that you mentioned the hospitalization part of this, I do know about this program because somebody brought someone who actually is over the program to come talk to me about it, but continue.
Okay.
Because I think people should know about this.
Yeah, you enter PHP and like I said, partial hospitalization. They shave off 2 classes, but that's just to have more time to get with your sponsor and go through the steps, that kind of thing. It's very step-based, the whole program. During PHP, you get 2 4-hour passes, one on Saturday and one on Sunday, so you can leave the premises, but they UA you upon re-entry to the facility. And then after the 60 days, you can choose to go into the next 30 days, which is IOP. It's less classes. We only have to attend AA 5 nights per week, but that's when you get a job. The facility actually helps you get to and from work for the whole first month, whether it be Uber or someone taking you. I'm gluten intolerant and they buy me special food. It's a fantastic facility. So I've learned so much and just in the short period of time that I've been there.
So how much longer time do you have with inpatient?
So I'm going to be totally transparent. I had entered the facility on February 10th and was released on March 13th. It took about 2 weeks, but I relapsed. I was not doing what I was supposed to be doing, which was attend to AA, talk to my sponsor. I was self-isolating again. And so it took 2 weeks, but the thoughts control the behavior, which control the actions or feelings then control the actions. So I did relapse. I then scared the crap out of me because I don't want to be an alcoholic. Well, I'm going to be an alcoholic, but I want to live a nice life. And because I used to have everything and I lost it all. I'm at rock bottom. And so I re-entered the program voluntarily last Monday. It'll be 2 weeks. So I have another 6 weeks before I enter the IOP, which is when I go get a job and everything like that. I plan on staying in sober living afterwards. So that's going to be another controlled environment with UAs and breathalyzing. And I can do that at SOBA. So they actually have, I think it's like 25 acres or something like that. Yeah, it's amazing. It sprawls out. There's a men's house, a women's house, a nursing
I
station.
have to come and get a tour.
Yeah.
I've had the people at the facility come and talk to me because it really clicked with me when you mentioned the hospitalization part.
Yes, ma'am.
Because the person talked to me and they told me that with alcohol and really with any other drug, of course, you got to detox and all of that.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you got to get your mind straight. But then the hospitalization part is a part of that. So there won't be any
I totally forgot
backslides.
that. Yeah, it's actually considered a dual facility for both rehabilitation from substances and a mental facility. So I am medicated. I have bipolar 2, ADHD, OCD, those kind of things. PTSD and from childhood trauma. And yes, I'm on a bipolar med. If you can't sleep, they help you with, and non-narcotic, of course, sleep, like melatonin. It's just a fabulous facility. Like all the staff is super caring, the nursing staff. We've got a doctor on call at all times, Dr. Healy, he's a psychiatrist.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
that's
So-
who talked to me.
Yeah, Dr. Healy. Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. He really listens and doesn't just push pills. Like I can't stand that. Like I don't want to be over medicated. I don't want to be a zombie. I just need the help. So
Okay, awesome.
Let me just ask a question. So, you're locked down for how many more days?
for another 6 weeks, I cannot leave. Well, I can leave the facility, like I said, for the 4-hour passes. After 30 days on Saturday and Sunday. But I would not be adverse to just foregoing those passes, just to stay in the lockdown, aspect of it. But like I said, after the 60 days, that's when you can actually leave and go get a job. And yeah,
All right, so you're going to have to sign a release for probation. Probation, with regards to this facility where she is, you all can do the UA testing or you can accept their UA testing, however that's appropriate under your program. So, all right, thank you. So as previously stated, the court is going to find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 8 years in prison, suspended and probated for 6 years. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. You to continue with treatment at SOBA, SOBA?
yes, ma'am.
All right. There is to be a 2-year license suspension. All right, with regards to the GPS, if she were on full lock time at that facility and they were not allowing her to leave, I wouldn't even do GPS because she would be there.
And
So-
that was where I was trying to go to, because we had talked about that, and if the court instructs her that she's still within that lockdown for 2 more weeks, and then she would be where she got some freedom, but the court could order that she could not leave the facility for those 4 hours.
Those other 30 days.
All right, so
So-
It's up to y'all.
then,
I mean, I
well,
don't.
here's the thing, GPS is expensive.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. And I
Yeah.
am indigent.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've lost everything.
All right, State, do you have any objection to the court ordering that since she's at SOBA, that for the 10 days, she is to be on their lockdown and not leave campus?
As long as there's verification that she does remain on campus for the entire 10 days, then no, the state is not.
All right. So in lieu of the 10 days in the Bear County Jail, I'm going to order that you're to remain at SOBA on their lockdown
Yes, ma'am.
and not leave the campus.
Yes, ma'am.
And she was brought here by the facility.
Yes, they
Oh,
take you to
yeah.
appointments.
Oh, where
and
are they?
everything. They're not in court.
Okay.
Yeah, I just call them and
Yeah.
they come pick
All
me
right.
up. Yes, ma'am. Like I said, it's a fantastic facility. I just can't get over the level of care and understanding, just because, like I said, most of the staff, even my therapist has a master's degree in social work and he is a recovering alcoholic. So he does this amazing therapy called EBDT.
Mhm.
It's fairly new. It's about 3 years old and it's like hypnosis based.
Mhm.
And you target like a traumatic memory and he walks you through and it's got this wand. It's really weird, but it is like magic. So yeah, it's great therapy.
Okay. All right, and then there will be, and as I previously stated, in lieu of the 10 days in the Bear County Jail, there's to be complete lockdown at the SOBA facility for 10 days. A DWI education course, VIP Live, DWI intervention. And if they have those programs at that facility, then those will count towards that. But you will need to give a release to probation so that they can make sure that those programs are equivalent to the programs that I'm requesting.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, there's 200 hours of community service restitution. Do you have any children?
I do. They don't live with me. My 14-year-old lives in Kyle with his father, and then my 23-year-old is on his own. He's very successful.
All right. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once she completes that, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Do you have any vehicles?
No, ma'am. Well, I have a vehicle right now, and that's something that I would like to discuss as well. It's about to go back to the bank. Like I said, I'm indigent. I have no way to pay for it. Plus I haven't been driving it. It's been sitting in my boyfriend's driveway. But with the breathalyzer on it, like I said, it's gonna have to either get sold back to CarMax if they accept it or go back to the bank. And I was hoping to get a release of breathalyzer off the vehicle because I cannot, excuse me, cannot sell it or turn it back to the bank with the Smart Start device on it. I would not be adverse to getting an in-home device. That's, I know that's typical.
All right, so
Um,
what I'll do is, it's gonna be ignition interlock for half the term, or you can provide an affidavit of non-driving, and the court will order a portable alcohol monitoring device.
And will that allow me to, because I believe Smart Start needs proof of a judge release?
They're gonna give everything to you.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
There'll be field visits one time per month for 6 months. Proof of employment within 45 days of release from SOBA. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. And I'm going to order 120 sober meetings in 120 days. I know you're already doing that there, and you'll need to make sure that they receive that.
Yes, ma'am.
Taking consideration 2024 PF 28045. Probation, is there anything else?
No, Judge, I think that'll be it.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am. You've been extremely helpful. Thank you.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question about that, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. I'm glad that you are taking this seriously, because alcohol and driving just does not mix. You could easily kill someone. You
Yes,
understand?
ma'am. And I thank God every day that I did not harm someone else and I didn't kill myself. So, just because my boys would be devastated and my family in general. So,
Well, here's the thing. In this court, your attorney will tell you communication is key to successfully complete probation in here. If there's an issue, let your probation officer know. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court, okay?
yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Just remain in court probation. We'll go over conditions.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you all ready to proceed?
I'm ready, Judge.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 10261 State versus Nathan Martinez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state defense?
Larry Meadows for the defendant.
And are you Nathan Martinez?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you this, did you review the document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to revoke community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Are you the same Nathan Martinez who was placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 10261 for the offense of felon in possession of a firearm on May 23rd, 2023 for a period of 8 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
The court summary does not include a copy of the motions. And
Here.
does not identify the term.
Here.
Here, I've got it.
In Bear County, Texas, the defendant Nathan Martinez did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of August, September, October, November, December of 2024, January, February, March of 2025 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State waives the remaining violation allegation.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 8 years in prison and up to a $250 fine? Did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Ma'am, I do.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes.
Yes.
And what is that proposed agreement?
Deny the motion, requires state ISF amends for moral recognition therapy. All of the conditions remain in full force and effect.
That's the agreement.
All right, so here's the court's question. From reviewing the, well, let me do this. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Name is Nathan Ryan Martinez.
All right, why are you not reporting?
Well, I have a drug problem and I started using drugs again. Whenever I got out, I was gone for about 2 years. Then I had to go to ISF, and I went for the 6 months. So I was gone for quite a while, and I lost all my social security and my ID. So whenever I had got out, I was in the process of getting that, and I ended up getting my social, and I had was going to get my ID, but it was a 3-month waiting period. And with that time, I started going into my old ways and stuff. So as soon as I started using again, I stopped reporting. And I was just in limbo to then waiting to get arrested.
Okay, because I noticed in the motion to revoke, I'm not considering it, but I noticed that you had a lot of UA issues, alcohol and methamphetamine and amphetamine. So that's a problem. All right, I'm going to give you a choice, right? You're at a crossroads in your life, and it's completely up to you what you choose. I can revoke you. I will sentence you to 3 years in the prison, ask that you be given the therapeutic community, or I can continue you, but I don't think MRT is appropriate for you. He has a drug problem. He needs to go to safety. And felony drug court, I'll do another referral to felony drug court, but he needs to go to safety.
Yeah, I'll take the 3, but
See, he doesn't want help. See how that clears that up for everybody? He'll take the 3 years in the prison. So are you waiving your right to appeal?
yes.
All right, so the court is going to revoke and sentence you to 3 years in the prison, therapeutic community, give you credit for any time served. And there's to be no contact with Daniel Pizzuto, Pizzuto Jr., Deborah, Debra Pizzuto, Desiree, Dezeray Sanchez, and there's to be no contact with minors. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review this document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
All right, because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
We can go off the record. If you don't change your life, only 2 possible outcomes are for you. 1, you're going to end up in prison or jail for the rest of your life. Or 2, somebody's going to have to identify your body in some field or on a sidewalk or somewhere. You understand?
I do.
You need to change your life. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And if you all give the court summary back to probation, please.
Yeah.
Anyone else ready? Who's here on Roberto Gonzalez? All right, Javier Herrera. Okay, so you all need to explain this to the court.
Yes, ma'am. I've spoken with the complainant. This is the outcome that she wants and that she feels comfortable.
And how is the complainant?
20, I'm sorry, she's 26 now, Your Honor.
All right, and so the complainant is now 26 years old, and this is what she's requesting?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Court is calling 2021 CR 2011 State versus Javier Herrera. Can I have parties announced for the record? State.
Ashley Jones for the state.
Lindsay Shaw, I'm sorry, Lindsay Shaw for Mr. Herrera.
And are you Mr. Herrera? Did you review this document entitled Deferred Adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are not, Your Honor. We are proceeding only on count, which is indecency.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on count 2, indecency with a child by contact? That's a 2nd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea, you're giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Herrera, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No,
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,500 fine. There's to be no contact with the complainant in Chapter 62 registration, and the state is recommending deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. I did.
Defense is at the plea.
Yes, ma'am.
State is at the plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years, 200 hours community service restitution, and you're to be supervised by the sex offender unit. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you count two? How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
Start off with State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objection.
All right, did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing States Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. All right, so why am I following this agreement? Or I should say, why should I follow this agreement?
Your Honor, we have discussed this agreement at length with the complainant, including just proceeding to trial and having a jury decide whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty. She understands everything that comes along with the trial and everything that would come along with this plea agreement. And she has chosen, or at least let the state know that she would, her preference would be to go forward with the plea.
All right, and now the former child is now an adult.
She is, Your Honor, and I did misspeak earlier. I aged her by a year. She's only 25. But she does not have any contact with the defendant. My understanding was that the defendant was married to the complainant's mother, had gotten divorced and has been divorced from their mother for quite some time now.
All right, do you have any other children?
Yes, Your Honor. I do.
And what are their ages?
10 and 5, Your Honor.
All right, I'm not going to allow you to have contact with minors. I'm not going to allow you to reside in any household with minors. You can't be trusted around children.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'm going to give you a choice. Here are your choices. The state is asking that your community supervision be for 5 years. That's a recommendation for them. I'm going to make it 10.
Yes.
Or either if you all would want to negotiate a prison term, you can. Otherwise, it's going to be 10 years deferred adjudication.
Yes, Your Honor.
So do you want 10 years deferred adjudication?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, there's a $1,500 fine, 10 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with minors, no contact with the complainant, Chapter 62 registration, regular reporting, and that's going to be in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 35 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. There's to be no residing in a household with minor. He's to be supervised by the sex offender unit. They're asking for community service hours. There's no community service hours I can give you legally because there's no place that will accept community service from you. There's going to be 180 days in the Bexar County Jail as a condition of probation. Probation, is there anything else? And we can do a TAP evaluation while in custody.
No other things, Judge.
All right, there'll be a TAP evaluation in custody, follow recommendations. Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. So what I can tell you is the complainant saved you from going to prison, because in this specific case, if the complainant still would have been a child, I would not have followed this agreement. But because she's an adult, I realized that maybe her mother or somebody is not pulling strings. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else?
Yes, Your Honor, we do have victim impact statement. We are having a little bit of trouble getting the link to the component. I would just ask maybe for about 5 minutes so that.
All right, then, what we can do is, if she is she able by phone?
Yes, Your
All right, so then what we can do is if he'll go into the box and then you all can play the phone for him where she does her victim impact.
Honor. One thing we missed was the field visits.
All right, thank you. Field visits 1 time per month until further notice.
Judge, if I may, my client, when he was arrested, he's been living in Cheyenne, Wyoming for the last 6 years. We would ask, once he's released from custody, if we could have this transferred to Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Do we know what county that is?
I can look it up really quick, Judge.
And I'll look it up as well. And there's to be a transfer to Cheyenne, Wyoming. You're not transferred unless they accept you. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor. I got arrested when I was on my way to work and I left my belongings over there to my lawyer. So I have no ID, no social security.
It's Laramie County. All right, thank you. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
And then Lindsay on Abel Hernandez, I'll
Yes,
give you a
Judge.
reset.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
If you'll restate your name for the record, please.
Tina Linda Jimenez.
All right, still under defense, you may proceed.
Thank you. Tina, I just had a couple quick questions for you. My first question is, were you there when Pablo exited the building?
As far as I can remember, yes.
Okay. And I think you testified that you guys just walked out and that nobody escorted you out. Is that correct?
Right, nobody was, that I can remember, nobody was holding Pablo. I know nobody was holding me.
Okay. And if there was somebody holding Pablo, was that possible that did happen?
Could be,
And Pablo was wearing a brown shirt that evening, is that correct?
I don't recall.
Well, we saw him in the video yesterday and he was wearing a brown shirt. Is that accurate?
I would say yes.
May I approach? Oh,
Yes.
let me show you which have at this time just been marked for identification purposes of defense exhibit 1, 2, and 3. They've not yet been admitted to evidence. But can you just look at those and are those photographs of it? Do you recognize the person in this photograph?
Yes, Pablo.
That's Pablo.
Yes,
And we see Pablo being in both state defense 1, 2, and 3.
yes.
Does that refresh your recollection
Okay.
about whether he walked out by himself or whether he was escorted out by security?
Okay, that refreshes my mind now.
Okay. And so the answer is yes, he was escorted out by security.
If it's on there, yes.
And then there was some conversations that we had about drinking. And I think you had said that he had had about 5 drinks in total, correct?
Exactly.
And the way that you were kind of portraying it was that Pablo was not intoxicated. Is that what you were trying to convey to the jury?
That is correct.
There was a conversation that you had with Mariano Rendon. Is that
Okay.
correct?
Correct.
And part of that conversation was you were seeking compensation for Pablo's injuries.
I don't recall that.
Did you ask that, basically telling him things like, well, you need to make this right, things like that?
Of course, because Pablo got hurt very bad.
During that conversation, isn't it true that you made, I'm going to read you a couple statements and just let me know if you made it,
Okay.
okay, or not. He had a little more to drink. It was his birthday. Did
I
you
don't
make that
recall that.
statement?
I don't recall.
Okay, is it possible that you made that statement?
I don't recall.
Pablo was a little more drunk than normal because we had went to have dinner with all of our family and we had margaritas. Do you remember making that statement?
No, I don't recall.
Okay, but it's possible you made that
I
statement?
don't recall.
Okay. I can say Pablo had more to drink than normal.
I don't recall.
He drank and drank it for his birthday. Do you remember making that statement?
No,
You're saying you did not make that statement.
I don't recall making that statement.
Okay.
He drank and drank, no.
He had been drinking more than he was supposed to. My apologies. Did you make that
I don't
statement?
recall.
Okay. Judge, may
Yes.
I have some moments with her outside the presence of the jury?
Can I have parties approach?
How are the headphones connected? How do I connect them?
Deputy Laura, do you have the headphones for him?
Okay.
And if there should be an outlet in your computer, I think. Yes, they're wrapped tightly.
Good arm workout.
Oh, he's not plugging into his computer. Hopefully it's the right side.
I'm gonna play you 2 audio clips.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask you afterwards whether that refreshes your recollection that you did make those statements and you'll either admit or deny making those statements, okay?
Okay.
If you you need to hear it more than once, I'm okay with that. Just let me know, okay?
Okay. Okay, no,
Okay. He takes the headphones off. Was that able to refresh your record?
yes, yes.
Okay. And, okay, did that refresh your recollection?
Yes,
Okay. So in fact, you did make the statement, he had a little more to drink. It was his birthday, correct?
yes, but not to the point to be intoxicated.
And then you did say, Pablo was a little more drunk than normal because we had went to our dinner with our family and we had margaritas, correct?
Which was one each.
But you did say he was a little bit more drunk than normal,
A
correct?
little bit,
I can say Pablo had more to drink than normal. You said made that statement as well, correct?
correct.
And then you said he drank and drank for his birthday, correct?
I said that, the normal 5.
He drank more than he was supposed to. My apologies. Did you make that statement?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So you recall, this just kind of refresh your recollection and you do admit to making all of these statements.
I do.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, State.
Yes. Do you remember during this 40-minute conversation that was recorded by the defendant, that was a phone call that you had with the defendant the next day?
That is correct, but I didn't know I was being recorded.
Okay. But to be fair, it was your voice on there and it was the defendant's voice.
That is correct.
And you recall the defendant saying, look, I know Pablo wasn't plastered drunk or anything.
Right,
And
correct,
and you did say Pablo had a little bit more to drink than normal.
correct.
And normal, he drinks how many?
3 to 4.
Okay, so and this night he had at least 5, well, we're saying around 5 or so.
5, yes,
Okay.
plus that one margarita we had.
All right. And, during this long conversation, and I know you probably don't remember it all, because have you ever heard that 40-minute phone conversation, the recording?
No, sir.
So you're just going off your memory right now?
Yes.
And the
yes,
small portions that defense played for you?
exactly,
Okay, so he did only played snippets of that whole conversation,
exactly, he did.
but it was a 40-minute conversation.
Yes, it was.
And y'all spoke about many things about that night.
Yes, sir, we sure did.
Spoke about the security guards taking your husband to the ground
Yes,
and also beating on your husband,
yes,
and that your husband was pretty beat up.
absolutely, yes.
And this is before the surgery, though. This is the next day.
The next day, yes,
So he didn't have his surgery until several days later.
exactly, yes, sir.
So you were unaware that Pablo had a ruptured intestines.
That's correct.
So, well, let me ask you this. Were you aware that this man from that video had kneed your husband so violently in that video?
No,
So when you're speaking to him on this recorded conversation that he recorded without your knowledge, he didn't tell you at any time during this conversation that he used both his knees and jumped into your husband's stomach, did he?
no, he didn't.
You thought this was a friend trying to help you.
That's correct.
And then on top of that, in this conversation, he tells you Pablo will be charged with a felony.
That is correct.
Several times he tells you Pablo will be charged, you could be charged, the nephew can be charged, and also the nephew's girlfriend, did he not?
Yes, sir, he did.
And then on top of that, he says, but look, do you remember him saying this? He says, we want to de-escalate this. Let's not press charges.
Yes, he sure did. Plenty of times.
And so during this long conversation of him saying this, did he also say, I have every right, legal right to do whatever means it takes to dis-escalate the situation?
That is correct.
And then he also say, I do whatever it takes,
Yes, he did.
do whatever means to get people out.
Yes, that's correct.
Pass the witness.
I have no further questions for this witness.
All right, is this witness excused or subject for recall?
She can be excused, Your Honor.
All right, the rule has been invoked, so you are not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone except for attorneys for the state or the defense. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, you may step down. Don't forget to leave your microphone.
Thank you.
Your Honor, at this time, we'll call Jacqueline Reyes. I'll grab her.
If you could raise your hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so that the members of the jury can hear. If you could state your name for the record.
Jacqueline Reyes.
All right, you may proceed.
Judge, remember you approach briefly.
Yes. All right, defense, you may proceed.
Can you state your name for the record?
Jacqueline Reyes.
And Jacqueline, had you been employed as a bartender at El Volcan?
Yes.
And how long did you work at El Volcan?
About 8 years.
Okay. And do you have any family relationship to Mariano Rendon?
Yes.
And how are you related to him?
He's my father-in-law.
Okay. And describe your general duties as a bartender there at El Volcan.
Not over serving, making sure people are only getting the amount of liquor they're supposed to or beer.
Mhm.
And then cutting them off as soon as you see that they're too intoxicated.
Okay. And then just generally making drinks and serving them. Do you serve at the bar or do you serve outside the bar, just at the bar?
Just at the bar.
Okay. And then did you know Tina Jimenez and Pablo Rodriguez? Did you know them?
Yeah, they would come in every weekend.
Okay. So they were regulars, would you say?
Yes, I would serve them every week.
And do you know if they sat in a particular area of the bar when they would come in?
Yes.
And where was that at?
Closer to my bar by the kitchen.
Okay. And so were you the bartender that they would always go to purchase their drinks from?
Yes.
Okay, because you're right there as close to where they always sit in the same area, correct?
Yes.
So, I mean, over to the left, and how long have they been coming there?
I remember them probably about 6 years back.
6 years
I
back?
would be there every weekend.
So you would see them every week for about 6 years,
Yes.
plus or minus 1 or 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
During that period of time, what would they generally order when they would come into the bar?
They would order a couple beers, Modelos, and then they would switch off between Modelo and Bucana and Red Bull.
What is Bucana and Red Bull?
It's a whiskey.
Okay, Bucana's a whiskey.
Yes.
And then they would they sometimes buy the beer by the bucket
They would get them in pairs.
in pairs?
Mhm.
Okay. And were there times when had you ever had to cut Pablo off from drinking because he was overserved?
Objection. I'm gonna object to the form of the question and relevance as to previous.
The relevance was the state made an effort to show that they had drank very little on that occasion, and the fact that he was had been
All right,
seen.
that objection will be sustained.
Did you see? Were there times when you would see Pablo Rodriguez where you felt that he was intoxicated?
Yes, there was a couple of times where he would be really, really sweaty, more than
Object
usual.
To the question, if I
It-
object,
Could everyone please approach? All right, so just so you know, when any attorney makes an objection, just stop speaking because that means they want me to make a ruling on something.
So on the night, did you see Pablo Rodriguez and Tina Jimenez the night that this big fight occurred?
Yes.
And was that the last time that you saw them at the bar?
Yes.
Okay. And can you describe what you noticed about Pablo Rodriguez's demeanor that night?
He was a little more intoxicated than usual. He was really sweaty. His eyes were red, and he was a little humbly. So I cut him off.
Okay. And then, and about how long, from the time that you cut him off to the time that the fight occurred, about how long had that been?
Maybe 30 minutes.
Okay. But as a bartender, one of the problems is that if I go and buy, let's say I come up to you and I buy 4 drinks, right? You can't control who might else hand somebody a beer or a drink, correct?
No,
Once I leave the bar, it's like you can't control who I'm giving those to.
correct.
And there are times when you may cut off a patron, but another patron may give them alcohol that you're unaware of. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. I'll pass the witness.
All right, state.
Ms. Reyes, so you stated that the defendant is your father-in-law, is that correct?
Yes.
And about how long have you known him?
15 years.
Okay, and so I'm assuming you're married to his son, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you have children with his son?
2.
Okay, And so you've known him for 15 years. And you said you've been married or together with the son for how many years?
15.
Okay. And then you worked at Volcon for 8 years, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the whole time that you've been employed at Volcon, were you a bartender?
No, I started off working the door
Okay.
and then I switched over to bartending.
And then you stated, well, I guess Volcon is closed currently, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and about how long ago did it close?
About 30 days, a little
Like a
over.
month ago,
Yeah.
maybe? And that was the location that's located at Ingram Road, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it's a little up the street from Ingram Park Mall, correct?
Yes.
And that's located here in Bear County?
Yes.
Okay. And isn't it true that the defendant is opening a new Volcán at Randy's Ballroom on Bandera Road?
Yes.
Okay, and that's set to open this weekend, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so in your duties as a bartender, well, I guess if we describe the atmosphere at Volcán, I mean, it's a place that people go to drink alcohol, correct, and dance, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and so that's kind of the experience that you all seek to provide, right? A good time where people can drink alcohol and dance to cumbias and norteño music.
Yeah,
is that
safe
correct?
environment for them to have fun.
Okay, and just so the jury's aware, the cumbias and norteños is just a type of Spanish music, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that was predominantly what you all would play there at Volcán, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so you stated that on the night of the incident, well, I guess you stated that you were familiar with Pablo and Tina, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and they were regulars of yours, correct?
Yes.
And you stated on the night of that you observed Pablo with red eyes, is that correct?
Yes.
Would it surprise you to know that a police officer that interacted with him a couple of maybe 30 minutes later didn't note those same observations?
Don't see how he didn't see that. His eyes were bright red.
Okay. And you stated that you cut Pablo off on that night, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. But you were at the bar when the fight happened, correct?
It was right after we closed down the bar.
Okay, so you didn't actually see what happened regarding the fight, is that correct?
No, I saw after the aftermath.
Okay, and I guess I kind of have a question because I'm kind of confused about how you guys, or the protocol about last call. So when we say last call, is that an announcement that's being made for people to go buy their last drink? Or can you explain that to me? please?
So we announce it on the microphone, that last call, they have 10 minutes to go get a last drink or finish their drink.
Okay,
And then we pull alcohol at 2.
okay, so then, if somebody chooses to go buy their last drink, they're expected to drink that within the last 10 minutes?
No, we give them about 5 minutes to finish.
Okay, just, I'm a little confused. So you announce last call, correct?
Mhm.
And that gives the patrons a choice to either buy their last beer or finish